putting in an fenestrated tube inside a non-fenestrated tube, it's stupid, okay, and it's wrong. So don't do that, okay. And so that's why the knowledge is important in observation. Knowing different models is important, because if you want to facilitate something and you're recommending something, make sure that it's not something that's wrong, okay. So that's our role. Now, how do we actually get speech produced? To the students who have seen a patient on a tracheostomy tube, can they talk? Were they able to talk? Yes. How were they able to talk? Just pressing the bar. What bar? Okay, so the patient has to press on the bar, and then the patient will be able to talk, right? How about if he or she doesn't press on it? Can she talk? Can the patient talk? Okay. Still yes. So it's not actually pushing on the bar, right? Okay. This is a speaking bar, the one that you mentioned, a one-way speaking bar. Anyone has put this on a patient before? Has seen one? No? Okay. I can pass this around as well. This is a cheap one. This is called a Speak Easy. Now, going back to the basics first, if you have a trach tube, the tracheostomy tube is going to divert airflow, right? It's going to make respiration the first priority, and no matter in inhalation or exhalation. So the amount of air through the glottis, if you have a tube there, what's going to happen? If you have a tube, as I said, inhalation, exhalation, where is it going to go? It's going to go through the tube, right? Because air always goes to the path of least resistance. And that does not facilitate speech. So what we want to do as a ST is to facilitate speech. And what you actually need to do, always keep that in mind, is you need to redivert the airflow. Okay? Redivert the air through the glottis in a safe and convenient way. Okay? Because if you just keep this goal in mind and you say, oh, I like to redivert air, what's the quickest way to redivert the air in a patient with tracheostomy? Take it out. If you take off the tube, then it's the quickest way, right? But the patient might die because the patient needs that for breathing. So you can't just take it out. You have to do something to help the patient talk. Okay, but you have to think about, as I mentioned this numerous times, you have to think about the indications of the tracheostomy. What would actually be inhibiting the patient from talking, from phonating, even without the tracheostomy? Okay, there are some problems. For example, if the patient has a subglottic stenosis, what is a subglottic stenosis? This is the glottis. Okay, that's trachea. That's the vocal folds. Okay, subglottic stenosis is if the patient has stenosis, very stenotic, very narrow airway below the vocal folds. Okay, if the patient has that, the patient is, even without the tracheostomy, can air go up to the glottis effectively? No. Okay, so if the patient has that diagnosis, is the patient able to talk even without the trach? Might not be. Okay, so how is the configuration of the airway of the larynx? It's very important that you have a true expectation of whether the patient can talk with a tracheostomy tube. Okay, and can the patient produce speech prior to using a tracheostomy? Okay, we have had patients who are actually, in advanced dementia. Okay, not a lot, but advanced dementia with a tracheostomy. Okay, very few of them have it, but we have seen one. And the patient was non-communicable long ago before the operation. And then, we get a referral asking us to help the patient talk. That's just absurd, right? Because it's not a problem with communication. It's not a problem of phonation. It's a problem of communication. So just keep that in mind. Okay, not everyone with a trach can talk. Okay, but you should do your best. And If the patient anatomically and physiologically the speech production and mechanism is intact, then always proceed. But keep in mind that respiration always comes first. Don't kill a patient because you want to get a patient to speak. Okay? Don't suffocate a patient. Don't make a patient desaturate. Okay? I have had colleagues doing that. Okay? Trying to get the patient talk and then just do an occlusion of the tracheostomy. 撳住佢啊！點解會頭先話係咪撳住就會出到聲嘅？咁我有同事都試過㗎，去到咁啊，即係我就喺側邊嘗試即係 supervise 下佢啦，咁佢做咯喎。一嚟嘅時候就個 patient 好好啊，坐得好正啊，sit down 咗，又唔使按 oxygen 嘅，係啦，個人好好嘅。跟住一嚟到咩都唔理喎，就我哋試下講嘢啦，好嘛？跟住就撳住佢啦，即係撳住嗰個 trachea 嗰個窿啦，嚇。咁理論上有啲 patient 會講得到嘢嘅，但係撳，跟住我就見住佢嘅 saturation。跟住我就你望下，咁跟住哇，咁就即刻縮手。但係個 patient 已經跌到即係91、92啦，本來係即係100嘅咁樣。OK， 咁點解會咁樣咧？就因為除咗係即係巡啦之外咧，就係冇即係 the clinician did not put respiration first, right? Okay, so you have to always keep the airway intact first before you do anything. Now, how do we do that? And why did that patient suffer? Why did the patient desaturate? The reason was that the patient had a cuff tracheostomy tube, and the cuff was inflated when the clinician did the digital occlusion. Okay? Imagine this configuration. You have a cuff, and the cuff is inflated. 跟住我隻手撳住呢度，啲空氣點啊？啲空氣點啊？上又上唔到，落又落唔到，係啦。唯一落嘅嘢咧就係個 SpO2 咯，係啦，就不斷上跌啦。咁啊，啲導向機都即係佢太想去講嘢啦，可能係即係個太火熱啦，我出嚟做嘢。咁咧就唔得啦。咁啊，其實就未掂呢個級啊。咁所以咧 ，that's the problem of that particular case. Okay, so just keep in mind that you want to divert airflow, but you want to divert airflow in a safe and convenient manner. Okay, so these are few configurations on your right hand side. This one on the left has a cuff, having a cuff inflated. How can you get a patient to talk with a cuff inflated? You probably can't, right? Maybe if you use any natural larynx, you can, but that's not the patient's speech. Okay? If the patient's cuff has to be inflated and there's no fenestration, then is air going to go through the vocal folds? No. Okay? No air going through the vocal folds, meaning there's no formation. Okay? So you can't get the patient to talk. Second scenario is if you have a tube here, non-cuff 啦呢個 ，OK non-cuff trachea tube 冇 fenestration 嘅，即係好似頭先第一條藍色嗰條 ，OK 好啦，空氣咧大部分就會經過條喉出入入，但係咧只要條喉側邊有啲空間嘅話咧，空氣就可以經過條喉嘅側邊。咁你要記住 ，this is always a three-dimensional thing. Okay, so it's going to go up around the tracheostomy tube, and some air, at least, is going to go through the glottis. Okay, and it can be facilitated by 如果我喺度再撳住佢，即係喺個 opening 嗰度撳住佢，當佢呼氣嘅時候會點啊？如果呢度撳住啦，呼氣嘅時候，咁佢就唔可以。Air is not going to pass through the tube itself, right? It's going to pass, most of it is going to go through here because air has to come out. So it's going to go up through here and then through the vocal folds. If the vocal folds are vibrating, okay, if it's inducted and it's vibrating, then the patient can speak. Okay? But if you don't do anything, you're probably going to end up with minimal speech. Okay? A little bit of speech because most of the air, the majority of air is still going to come out through the tube itself. Okay. On the third condition, when you have a fenestrated tube, you have a fenestrated tube, and then this pathway here has lesser resistance. So when it has lesser resistance, when the patient exhales, where is the air going to go? It's going to go out through. Some of it is still going to go out here through the tracheostomy tube, but more air is going to go out through the fenestration and then into the glottis, and the patient can speak. Okay. So what we can do is we can temporarily occlude the outlet of the tracheostomy tube， 撳實佢啦，即係我會借翻其中一支 trachea tube 俾我，其中一支冇所謂。係啦，即係話咧，如果個 patient 譬如啦，佢有一個你話翻我睇呢條係咩 tube 啊 ？single cannula 定係 double cannula？single 啦，有冇 cuff 啊？冇啦，用 fenestration 啊？冇啦，咁呢個唔係一個 ideal 去即係令佢可以講得到嘢嘅 configuration。不過都可以試下嘅，係咪？如果條喉夠細咧，其實如果譬如個 patient 係咁樣嘅時候咧，你見到呢個唔係幾好啦，係啦。咁但係咧，應該咧就喺條喉嘅附近咧，都總有啲空間去俾空氣經過嘅，係咪啊？咁所以如果個 patient 係咁樣嘅時候，佢一定好想要講嘢嘅話咧，我哋撳住呢個窿。係咪？撳住佢嘅時候，當個 patient 呼氣會點啊？呼氣嘅時候就會 go up around the tube up through 個 vocal folds。只要個 vocal fold 本身佢個功能係正常嘅話咧，咁 patient 都可以自講得到嘢咯。OK。咁但係如果第二嗰個情況就係我俾條 shiny 已經變咗咁樣嘅，變咗咁長嘅 tube。係啦，咁咧。我今次阿湯就有條 shiny 啦，係啦，咁佢咁樣擺上度啦嘅時候咧，咁你會見到呢條 tube 就又係啦，冇 cuff 啦，有 fenestration 啦，咁咧連裏邊嗰條咧，即係呢一條咧，都係一條有 fenestration， 即係話咧呢個係一個 fenestrated tube 嘅組合啦。好啦，當佢想講嘢嘅時候咧，或者其實有時咧，甚至你會見到啲 patient 咧唔需要撳住咧，佢都已經出得到聲，因為佢只要夠力嘅話咧，其實佢就咁呼氣咧，啲氣都已經會上得到佢個 vocal folds， 咁佢就會講得到嘢。不過一陣我哋會睇到咧，就係佢會唔夠大聲，因為都會有啲氣喺度流出嚟。但係當我哋撳住咗嘅時候，空氣大部分就會經過呢條喉上得到去，係咪？咁跟住個 patient 就可以講得到嘢咯，係嘛？咁唯一得一個 condition 就係，即係會好危險就係如果有吸喺度咯，係嘛？即係你記住我嗰個好蠢嘅同事咧，就係咁樣，跟住就係撳實佢，跟住就連聲都唔識得停啦咁樣，係啦。不過最緊要就我哋最怕唔係蠢嘅同事，最怕係一啲即係唔識得學嘅同事。咁所以嗰個同事咧，經過嗰一次之後咧，每一次都好小心啦，係啦。咁我冇再見到呢個事情發生。So that's a good thing. Okay, so but the better thing is that don't make your first mistake, right? Okay, so never occlude someone with a cup, and especially when you see the cup is inflated. Okay, so that's how we talk under different conditions. But if you ask the patient to, whenever you want to talk, use your thumb, push against the tube, okay, or occlude the tube. Is it a good thing? No, because first of all, in Hong Kong, sadly, a lot of these patients are going to be being tied to the bed rail. Okay, 你睇過啲 patient 啦，好多即係呢啲咁多喉喺個身嗰度嘅話咧，就要點咧？就手又俾人綁啊，腳又俾人綁啊，跟住着住件長袖衣啊咁樣啦，係啦。咁你叫佢你叫佢做嗰啲 follow one step command 都做唔到嗰啲 parts 嘅時候咧，你叫佢點能夠可以將隻手指將佢撳住自己個窿咧？咁撳唔到啦。咁當佢做唔到嘅時候咧，咁你唔通話叔叔，你每一次想講嘢嘅時候咧，你就叫個姑娘過嚟幫你撳住個窿，跟住撳住你就可以講到嘢㗎啦。咁但係個問題係佢點樣可以叫到個姑娘嚟咧？係咪？咁呢個第一樣嘢啦，第二樣嘢就係姑娘係唔會睬你㗎嚇。咁就算佢撳鐘都好咧，姑娘係唔會理佢。咁同埋就第三樣嘢咧，亦都係最重要嘅就係手指係點啊？就唔乾淨啦。唔乾淨，如果帶咗落去個 trachea 嗰度咧，就會直接入咗去個 airway。Hygienic problem, right? Okay, so hygiene is something that we don't want to make it worse with speech. So the way to do it is to put on a valve. Okay, and this valve is usually called a one-way speaking valve. Okay, either it has a brand name called Pessimua. Okay, Pessimua is one of the brands of speaking valve. The one that I was passing around is called Speak Easy, and Shyly also has speaking valve. But the mechanism it's basically the same. What it does is it allows air to go in, so inhalation is possible when you have a speaking bath.個 speaking bath 係咩啊？好細粒嗰個。好，你拎住就好啦。你幫我帶上呢個 patient， 係個 patient 嚟嗰份喺度，係啦。係勁咳㗎啦，都係會咳嘅。OK， 咁咧嗱，帶呢度技巧嘅。嗱，呢個係紅針嚟嘅，真係會發生嘅。Always remember when you put on a speaking bath. Okay, this is something that I have to remind the patient, remind the relatives a lot of times. Okay, you have to anchor the tracheostomy tube really well. Okay, because 嗱佢會有條繩綁住啦，頭先見到個 patient 係咪啊？好啦，跟住我有啲魯莽嘅同事咧，係啦，咁就會咁樣啦。咦，講嘢喎，咁啦。咁你見到呢條喉咧就即係明明就冇掂住嘅，一咁樣撳咗落去咧就點啊？就頂咗落去個 tracheal wall 度啦，跟住就勁吸啦個 patient，係咪啊？咁所以咧一個即係好啲嘅方法咧就係咧，或者換條 inner cannula 都係。咁咧最好咧就係如果你要擺嘅時候咧，就雙手就扶住條 tube 本身啦，然後呢個輕輕擰，唔係扭實，唔係叫佢扭樽蓋。其實擺上去輕輕扭一扭咧，佢就現實㗎啦，係咁就唔會跌出嚟㗎已經。Okay, be really gentle. Okay, so this is a speaking bath being put on and on Tom, and this bath would allow air to go in but not out. Okay, so inhalation is still possible through the tube, but how about exhalation? What's going to happen with exhalation when the speaking bath is put in? It's a one-way bath. So how is the exhalation going to be? Okay, as you can see from the diagram here, okay, inhalation is still possible, but exhalation, because it's going to be blocking the exit of the tracheostomy tube, and the patient the airflow will be diverted, everything will be diverted through the glottis. Okay, and the patient can speak. Or even if the patient doesn't speak or is not speaking, exhalation will still go through the mouth and nose, which establishes a more normal way of breathing. Okay, but we're not completely blocking it. Okay, this is different if as compared to if you just cap it. If you just cap it, put a cover on it, inhalation is possible? No. Exhalation obviously is not possible, but if you just cap it, then the patient probably doesn't need the tube as well, right? Okay, so as an intermediate step, we would put on a speaking bath for a patient. Okay, this is a one-way bath. So you can see the speaking baths, different brands, Shy Leaf, Pessimua. Okay, let's go back to the steps of how I would put a speaking bath on a patient. Okay. I won't just go and, you want to speak? You have a tube, let's try to put it on, because first of all, it's pretty expensive. And secondly, if the patient is not fit for it, you are putting the patient in danger, okay, because it's blocking the way of exhalation. Okay, so first of all, you have to, because now remember the goal is to redivert airflow. Airflow, you want the airflow through the glottis, and then when the glottis, when there's airflow and the vocal folds adapts their speech. The steps to do it. First of all, you want to make sure that the upper airway is patent. Okay, 如果佢連唞氣都唞唔到，咁就唔好講嘢住啦，係咪啊？ Always respiration always comes first. So you want to test for upper airway patency. How do you do that? You ensure that first of all, to ensure the cuff is fully deflated. Okay, because if the cuff is inflated, then you can't really test for it. Okay, ensure that the cuff is fully deflated. And then you look at the monitor, you note the vitals, the heart rate, the respiratory rate, the SpO2. Then you try to do digital occlusion. 即係話呢個 step 就會係首先，如果佢有吸啦，咁你就 deflate 咗個吸啦，然後咧你就望住即係
望個 mon 你要寫翻低，你要記住啦，大概啲 vitals 係點樣啦。好，跟住咧你就嘗試當佢呼氣嘅時候咧，就撳住佢。咁當佢呼氣嘅時候撳住佢嘅話咧，佢應該呼氣喺度呼出嚟嘅，就喺個口同個鼻啦。有啲好醒嘅 patient 咧，我會直頭叫佢先感受下先，即係撳下佢睇下佢有冇好唔舒服啦。如果佢冇嘅話咧，我就會叫佢撳住嘅時候咧，我會叫佢直頭咧俾張紙巾佢，跟住吹用張紙巾嘅，即係 blow the tissue paper。咁你就好容易會見到佢啲空氣真係喺個口同個鼻嗰度出嚟啦，係咪啊？如果佢連你撳住佢，佢根本完全出唔到嘅話咧，就有兩個可能性，一係咧就係佢上面呢度 block 得好緊要，你撳住咗冇氣上得到嚟，咁即係話佢嘅 upper airway 係點啊？批唔批塵啊？唔批塵啦，咁就唔好諗 speech 住啦 ，OK？咁但係咧，仲有另一個可能性咧，就係咧佢個肺真係太弱，嗰啲氣上唔到個口同個鼻。不過呢個情況少啲發生嘅 ，OK？ 比較多會係你撳住佢可能谷得好緊要啊，或者咧佢啲氣即係上唔到佢喺個口同鼻出唔到嘅話咧，上面 OK 有唔同原因令到佢啲氣上唔到嚟可能係上面腫啊，可能係個即係兩邊個 cord 都唔喐啊，令到佢根本啲氣上到口同鼻咯 ，OK？ 所以你可以撳住啦。然後就俾張紙巾佢，叫佢吹咯。OK， that's the way to test for upper airway patency。咁咧有啲 patient 已經好醒啦，當你撳住嘅時候咧，跟住話講到嘢咯喎咁樣咁有啲會好叻嘅，咁但係有啲唔得嘅時候，因為有啲佢 probably the patient has been bedbound, on tracheostomy for a very very long time, and this is actually the first time they're getting a taste of speech. Okay, so the second thing is you still occlude the outlet, and then you ask the patient to talk.OK， 咁但係就唔係話你試下講嘢啦，咩叫試下講嘢咁試咪咩係咪？咁what I usually do is I usually ask the patient to 我問佢叫咩名 ，OK？ 你可唔可以講俾我聽叫咩名？撳住係啦，咁都係 exhalation 嘅時候撳咯。點解唔 inhalation 嘅時候撳咧 ？Because what your speaking valve does is your speaking valve is limiting exhalation, right? It doesn't limit inhalation.Okay, so you see the patient inhale, put your finger away, exhale, put it there, ask the patient to speak either or ask what the name is. Okay, and so that's for speech production. If the patient cannot talk like that, if the patient is aphasic or has some problems with generating speech, you can look for coughing sound as well. Okay, because if the coughing it's audible, it's not weak, there's coughing sound, it means that air is actually going up through the glottis and the vocal folds are functioning. Okay, so that would be a good indicator as well. Now after passing this, okay, patient can you put in a finger, and then you put on the bath. Okay, and then you put on the bath. Before that, please explain to the patient what you're doing. Okay, 你要話俾佢聽。先生，而家咧，我會將一個聲範擺喺你條口嗰度。嗰個聲範嘅作用咧，好似個蓋咁樣嘅 ，show the patient what it is。OK， 唔係佢會覺得突然之間有人嚟揞住佢透唔到氣咁樣。And then tell the patient that this is going to allow air to go in but not out. Okay, with air not being able to come out through the tube here, you can talk. OK， 咁你就話俾佢聽帶出嘅聲範咧，你就唞氣嘅時候，可能吸氣會有少少辛苦。呼氣都會有少少辛苦嘅，不過就可以令我哋講得到嘢可以傾到偈。And then the second thing, put on the speaking valve gently. OK， 如果你頭先嗰位同學咁樣咧，咁就真係會咳死啦，跟住個 patient 就會紅晒啦，跟住佢啲 vitals 就會跌啦咁樣。OK，咁 then what you do is you look for any differences if after putting it on, you look for any differences as compared to digital occlusion. OK， so this previous step 有啲情況底下會嘅可能個 valve fit 得唔啱啦或者咧可能你擺嘅時候喐咗條喉啦，都有機會嘅。不過呢個情況比較少發生嘅。OK， 然後 don't just go。OK， 李先生你講到嘢啦喎，咁我哋下次再見啦，拜拜。咁咧就 it will be really bad. Okay, you get scolded by the nurses. Don't do that. Okay, monitor for at least 10 or 15 minutes because sometimes these patients, they have problems with managing their secretions. Okay, after putting it on, they have deep breathing difficulties, their respiratory the rate becomes much more rapid. If that happens, it's not going to just show up all in one go. It might develop more gradually. Okay, so monitor at least 10 to 15 minutes and then make your recommendation. Okay, this would be a very, very safe way of doing it. This is my way of doing it. I have this chart here. This chart is pretty much similar. I got this chart from the one of the guidelines as produced by a hospital authority. Basically, it's the same thing. Okay, check cuff deflation, check cuff status, deflate or non-cuff, and then tolerate digital occlusion, voice production. Okay, but the only difference is whenever the patient cannot talk, if you get stuck somewhere around here, okay, you try to put on a finger and the patient cannot breathe. You put on a finger, the patient cannot talk. Then you have to think about, okay, what is the exact configuration of the vocal folds? Okay, are the vocal folds functioning properly or not? Okay, and then how do you tell? How do you know whether the vocal folds are functioning or not? 撳住出唔到聲啦，咁點咧？即係嗱，如果啦，佢個 trachea 譬如已經係咁樣啦，撳住出唔到聲，咁你係咪要諗下究竟佢個聲帶嗰個情況係點啊？咁你點知個聲帶情況係點啊？點知個聲帶情況係點啊？問下個 patient， 你聲帶情況點樣啊？唔係啦，咁你可以點啊 ？How do you know the condition of the vocal folds？ 其實可以放膽啲講嘅，點啊？點算？佢撳住出唔到聲，照 fees 係咪 ？OK， 或總之做 endoscopy 啦。係咪？咁照 B 可以你可以自己做啦，或者咧你其實最重要就係應該揾 ENT 去即係睇嘅。OK，always consult the ENTs。OK，ask them to see whether there's any obstruction。OK，so you never know。OK， 你望下，咦好似個頸有啲腫喎，應該個聲帶都有啲腫啦。錯啦，係咪？即係冇咁寫啦，係唔係咁樣睇到噶嘛？係咪？你要望住裏邊睇下張 X-ray 先 ，X-ray 係話俾你聽 vocal folds 嘅情況係點樣噶嘛 ？You always need endoscopy。Okay, and the better way, because you're suspecting airway obstruction, you're suspecting vocal fold problems, ask the ENT. Okay, do the laryngoscopy, check the vocal fold function. Okay. 好啦，咁同埋咧，如果已經睇過啦，譬如有啲 case 冇嘢喎，個 cord OK 嘅喐嘅咁樣，咁但係我哋發覺咦撳住都唔得喎，咁另外有時有啲方法咧就係可能可以 downsize 佢咯。係啦，咁我後尾呢度會再講㗎啦。咁我哋如果唔得嘅時候 ，so what can we do? Any management strategies? First of all, you can try changing the tube. If you have a patient, okay, let's say if you approach this patient, approach Tom, and Tom has a non-fenestrated tube. Okay, this is a non-fenestrated tube here. Okay, non-fenestrated tube inside here. Okay. And you want to ask Tom to speak. You try occlusion, there's no speech. Okay? The first thing you do in this scenario is not going to ask the ENT. Okay? What you can do is you can change the tube. 將呢條 non-fenestrated 嘅就換咗一條 fenestrated 嘅，咁就即係話咧，你已經 optimize 咗佢可以講到嘢嘅 condition 啦，係咪啊？所以咧可以嘗試轉呢一樣嘢啦。咁但係你話唔係喎，佢有條 cortex 喺度喎，佢有條即係 single cannula non-fenestrated 嘅，咁我可以點樣令到佢變咗條 fenestrated tube 啊？你可唔可以就咁將我將條喉拎出嚟就篤兩個窿啦，得唔得咧？就唔得啦，係咪？咁你可唔可以咁我試下換咗佢啦，將呢條喉叫做咁啦。見好似隔離床都有條呢啲喉喎，咁可唔可以咧？都係唔得啦，因為咧換喉就唔係我哋做嘅換條 inner tube 就係我哋做嘅patient 自己都可以做。但係 if you have to change the whole tracheostomy tube, you have to ask the parent team to do it. Okay? from a non-penetrated to a penetrated tube. Okay, it's going to facilitate speech. Okay, I'm not saying that it definitely is going to make the patient to be able to talk. Okay, sometimes it's just not that way. Okay. 另外咧，就 another thing is to suction. You have a lot of secretions here. Okay, if you have a lot of secretions, even though if you have penetrated tube, you do occlusion. If you have a lot of secretions in your mouth, in your pharynx, what's going to happen? You're going to end up with a very gurgly voice, or you can't even talk. Okay, a lot of sputum. So what you can do is you can suction, okay, through the tract, through the oral cavity, so that you make sure the airflow, the pathway of the airflow is patent. Okay, or third strategy is to downsize, use a smaller tracheostomy. Okay, but again, this would involve the parent team, involve the ENT, or you can consider changing a speaking bath. We have cheaper ones, available. This one is called Speak Easy, the Shiley one. It's about $100 something. Okay, when we want to buy it. Okay, when the patient wants to buy it, it's about $500. The Pessimilar one. 咁咧好珍貴啦！你見到呢個 Pessimilar 係咪？咁個 Pessimilar 咧就係一隻牌子，佢有專利嘅。The special thing about this Pessimilar speaking bath is that it offers less resistance. Okay, so if pediatrics wants to use it, we would advise the patient getting this. Okay， 好，我傳嚟睇下。咁你會見到咧，同頭先個 speaking bath 係基本上一樣嘅嚇。咁但係咧就佢有啲專利嘅設計，所以令到佢貴好多。呢個大概1,500一個。係啦，而家好似2,000蚊添啊！係啊，你如果聽完你可以買翻10個，然之後10年後擺出嚟咧，可能會再貴咗嘅嚇。So it's actually the story behind this is pretty interesting. It's developed by a patient who needs a speaking bath. Okay, this David Miller, I think. David Miller was using the old speaking bath and finds it that it's not comfortable, so he developed that as a low resistance, no leak design. It's suitable for patients on ventilators, more suitable for patients who are younger. Okay, so pediatric patients buy Pessimilar. So this is another strategy that you can use, or, as I said, laryngoscopy. Okay, ask the ENT, or if you're confident, do the endoscopy yourself. Or it could just be a bad day for you or the patient. Okay, come back another day. If you are very convinced that the patient's vocal folds are fine, there's no upper way obstruction, there's no sputum whatsoever, the patient should be able to talk, then come back another day. Okay? Or if it's the last thing, how about if the patient is on ventilator? You have to talk to the physician, okay, talk to the doctor about setting the ventilator. Okay? There are certain settings that will allow the patient to talk even the patient is on ventilator. Okay? But this is way advanced. We're not going to cover that today. Okay? But the patients can talk despite being on ventilator. Okay? Right. Okay. So this is speaking bath. I'm going to show you a video. Yeah. Okay. Before we do that, let's just talk about the advantages of using speaking bath. Obviously, quality of life. You want to be able to communicate even though you are tracheostomized. Hygiene. You don't want always putting a finger on the outlet of the tracheostomy tube. You want something that. So what did your classmate said about putting a finger, having to press on the bath is not correct. You don't need to press on it. Okay. Hands free. Okay, you don't need to do anything. All you need to do is just put on the bath, and then it's going to divert airflow by itself. Okay, and it also facilitates coughing. Okay, imagine if a patient has a tracheostomy, the patient wants to cough. Can he or she do that? 你個 free end 嘅 trachea 可唔可以 cut 啊？佢會 cut 嘅，係咪？好似頭先嗰個同學想帶上去嘅時候，佢就係 cut 咯。係咪？咁佢會 cut， 但係佢唔 effective 嘅，係咪？因為流晒氣啊嘛，係嘛？你要 cut 得好有力就係點樣啊 ？How do you have good cough? You have strong respiratory muscles, and the second thing is your vocal folds has to end up. They have to end up, right? Okay, and then pushing it out. 你會即係 create 到嗰個 negative pressure 先得嘛？係咪？咁但係你有一個 track it would facilitate that. Okay, and thirdly, olfactory senses. If you're breathing in and out through a tube, you're losing a lot of olfactory senses. Okay, no smell, no taste, and it's also a resistance training for respiration. So it's usually seen as a step as towards getting the tube out. Okay, speaking valves are not just only for speaking. It's also an intermediate step for getting off the tube. So we have had patients who are non-communicable, okay, not able to communicate. Just recently we had some, in the neurosurgical ward, GCS 10, E4, M6, ET, okay, so no speech at all, sometimes even no eye opening, but we would still try and put on the speaking mask because it might help them to wean off the tracheostomy tube, okay? So not just only for patients with needs for speech. Okay, let's take a look at a video that I have here. Okay, now you can see this patient has a shiny tracheostomy tube there. Distal end here, it's green in color, so it's that tube, it's the fenestrated shiny. The patient is holding the speaking valve herself. Okay， 大家聽唔聽到啊？係啦，好啊。你試下數1、2、3啦，而家咁樣。聽唔聽到佢唞氣嗰啲聲啊？頭先係咪啊？咁因為嗰個就係個長面 tube 喺度，即係佢喺度唞氣嘅時候啦。好嗱，呢個咧你見到佢係 fenestrated tube 啦，佢而家冇撳住嘅，聽下佢個聲。我唔到喎。係咪漏氣㗎嘛？聽唔聽？好，試下吧。聽唔聽到？佢都講到嘢嘅，其實冇個 speaking valve 喺度，不過就有啲漏氣嘅聲。同埋咧，其實佢用緊多好多力嘅，係咪？因為嘥氣嘛，係咪？睇翻上去。要唔要 cut 啊？要唔得。係咪啊？頭先睇到佢 cut 啦，佢擺上去嘅時候已經冇撳住啦，咁跟住咧擺上去咪 cut 咯，係啦，咁已經唔算好犀利嘅，佢已經擺咗好耐嘅條喉，所以咧可能已經習慣咗啦。咁但係咧有啲啱啱做咗咁樣對嘅話咧，佢就會即係。會好唔舒服啦，你哋會聽到咧，會啲啊，係咪大聲啲會容易漏氣？聽到先，聽唔得，係咪好啲啊？係咪大聲啲會容易漏氣？係咪啊 ？OK， 得好啊，得咗。OK， Okay, you hear the cough sound. Okay, so the patient was able to cough. It doesn't come out that easily. Okay, so this is the advantage of using a speaking valve. This valve is connected to the oxygen port as well, so oxygen can flow directly to the tracheostomy with this speaking valve. Okay, but if the patient doesn't have this model, he or she can still use the tracheal mask. Okay, putting the tracheal mask on top of the speaking valve still works because it doesn't limit inhalation. Okay. 好啦 Any questions on speech? Speech with speaking valve? Questions? No? Okay. Message 3, please prioritize respiration. Okay, don't be too ambitious about speech, although we are all speech therapists. Okay? Don't supplicate the patient because simply you want the patient to talk. Okay? Okay. Next part is swallowing. Okay, you can see that I'm just leaving not a lot of time for swallowing because there's nothing really much to talk about actually. Okay, as I explain on, you will know why. I have some myths or facts about swallowing or speech on patients with trachea. First of all, I've had people telling me or asking me, is it true? Trach patients can't eat or drink. Is it true? Is it true? If it's true, then we wouldn't be wasting our time, right? Okay, so that's obviously not true. Second question, trach patients need an inflated cuff for safe swallows. Is it true? True or false? Trach patient, 頭先你睇咗個 cuff 啦，係咪？手上面攞住嗰個啦。Trach patient, if
inflated for safe swallowing. True or false? Who says true? Who says false? Who has no idea? Who would inflate it halfway? I've had doctors asking me, if you don't want the cuff to be inflated, then how about we do it halfway? 我跟住就行開咗啦。Not true. Okay, I'm going to explain why. Trach patients need to take out the tube before they eat. 唔啱。如果你話啱嘅話，我就真係唔知點算啦。Okay, but I've had this question from relatives before. Okay, they were thinking, the patient has a tube. Do they need to take it out before they eat? Okay, always tell them no, please don't, because they'll die. Trach patients need to remove the speaking valve before they eat. True or false? 如果佢戴緊 speaking valve，頭先我咁樣，佢食嘢嘅時候要拎走佢先，啱唔啱？唔啱，點解？食不言寢不語啊嘛，食嘢都唔講嘢，咁戴住 speaking valve 咧？戴住做咩啊？你唞氣又順啲喎，唞氣啊嗱冇嘢阻住，唞氣唞得順啲，成日咪好啲咯。又係阿 Sir 你話條氣唔好嘅，咳得好啲。Okay, that's one thing. And second thing, remember putting on a speaking valve helps with olfactory senses as well. Okay, I will explain these. Trach won't affect the swallow. True or false? The presence of the tracheostomy is not going to affect the swallow. Is it true? Is it false? Who says true? Trach 有個 trach 佢條 trach tube 唔會影響佢吞嘢嘅。Okay, who says false? Okay, who says 有啲影響啦。Okay, 全部都一陣我會講啦。Okay, their assessment is much more dangerous to perform. True or false? True, false? Actually, no. Okay, this is definitely false because if they have a trach and the patient aspirate, what can you do? You can suction, right? How about if a patient doesn't have a trach and the patient aspirate? What can you do? You can suction, but you can suction the mouth. You can't really suction the trachea, right? Okay, so in a sense, it's actually safer. Okay, but it's a little bit desired, I think so. Okay. Their swallowing treatment is largely the same to those without one. Is that true? 做 treatment 啦，係咪一樣咧？你有條 track 冇條 track 都係咁做㗎啦，啱唔啱？好啦，一陣我會講㗎啦。Okay, so again, I'm repeating this again. Indications for the tracheostomy may already impinge swallowing. Okay, so the reason I'm putting this is if the patient has upper airway obstruction, if the patient has copious secretions, and then needing the tract, then it means that these reasons beforehand, it's already affecting the swallowing. Right? Not the tract itself, but the reasons why the patient needs a tract. Let's say the patient needs a tracheostomy. I had this example before, right? The patient needs a tract because he has too much sputum. Why does the patient have too much sputum? Probably because he's aspirating his own saliva. Okay, that could be one of the reasons. And if the patient is aspirating his own saliva, it tells you that the swallowing is not very good, right? Okay, so that reason for the indications of the tract already tells you that the patient has a really, really bad swallow. Okay, and it's already affecting swallowing. Or unconsciousness. Okay, 佢唔係做咗個 tract，所以佢唔 conscious 啊嘛。
係咪？佢係調翻轉，佢係唔 conscious，佢唔識唞氣，所以佢有個 tract。跟住你同佢做 swallowing assessment 嘅時候，唔係咁你就可以話因為佢有個 tract 喺度，所以佢就唔識吞咯。就唔係，其實係佢再之前嗰個原因。So the first reason being unconscious. Okay, so indications of the tracheostomy, that's why you need to know. Okay, and then you would think about it. A lot of people would say these things. The effects of the tracheostomy, it would have its, negative effect on the swallowing physiology, right? And it does. They make a lot of sense. Okay, first of all, the downward exertion. If you have a tracheostomy tube right here, which is 喺邊度啊？頭先我話 third and fourth ring of the trachea, right? OK， 你而家試下就咁吞啖口水。As compared to 你揾隻手指撳住你，如果要擺 trachea 嗰個位啦，係啦，撳住啦，你再試下吞啖口水，有冇唔同？有啲係咪？咁有人就話咁係咯，咁咪唔同咯，咁即係話個 downward exertion 咧係會令到你個 laryngeal excursion 或者個 elevation 咧都會有影響嘅，係咪？啱啱咧，你叫我打咗個問號喺度，其實係冇 study 完全證明，總之你有個 tract 喺度咧，就一定會咁樣影響到你嘅。Okay, so this is not entirely true. Okay, there are some studies that would support the notion that patients with tracheostomy, they aspirate more. Okay, they have problems with swallowing. But this, just looking at the laryngeal excursion itself, is not entirely true. Okay, we don't have scientific evidence to say that the tracheostomy definitely pulls down your larynx when you swallow, and that is the reason why it affects the swallow. Okay, that is not true. Okay, but it does have its effect. Okay. My theory is that, or our beliefs is that, it affects the swallow. But if you only have the trachea itself, you should be able, a normal person should be able to compensate for it. Okay, because it's not a significant difference. Okay, the effect on the downward exertion. Second thing, changes in the subglottic pressure. If you have a tract that's opened, you don't put on a speaking bath, you're not able to create a negative pressure that, because as we all know, the aerodigestive tract is a lot of valves and tubings, right? Okay, so with the changes of pressure, is it going to affect it? Yes, okay, but again, it's not significantly, altering the swallowing physiology to a point that only this factor itself is affecting your swallow. Okay, so it does change the pressure, but it doesn't make you from being able to eat to not being able to eat. Okay, changes in olfactory, of course. Okay, with an speaking bath, it restores your olfactory senses. So all these things. And some people would say that okay, the size of the tract is too big. It's compressing on the tracheal wall and it rubs against the tracheal wall. So every time the patient is swallowing, the patient is coughing as well. This definitely affects swallow if the size is indeed too big. Okay, or the patient may complain that okay, I have odinophagia. Okay, and when I have the tube, it just feels that whenever I swallow, I feel pain. Okay, anyone not familiar with this term? Odinophagia. Pain during swallowing. Okay, 即係吞嘅時候好痛啦。OK， 好，咁呢扎咧係一啲嗱，如果要即係解釋嘅話咧，就係、佢確實咧，即係個 tract 本身咧係會影響到呢一啲嘅因素嘅，佢會令到個 larynx elevate 可能冇本來咁多，佢可能會令到個 subglottic pressure 會有少許轉變，但係呢一紮嘢咧都唔足以影響到就係如果佢即係唔足以係成為一個單一嘅因素咧，令到一個人由即係食到變咗做食唔到咯。或者令到佢有 dysphagia 咯。OK， 好啦 ，so what exactly is does this say? Now, just remember this. Okay, in a systematic review by this guy, they did not find a direct causal relationship between the presence of a tract and swallowing dysfunction. Okay, did not. Okay, so if your supervisors asks you, does the tracheostomy affect swallowing? And put out this reference. Okay, according to McMahon and Zach, 2003，跟住佢就會呆咗啦。咁咧，but this is true because this is actually the one of the very few systematic review, and I can tell you it's very very difficult to do。你點樣可以 compare 到一個人即係 single out 咗所有因素之後，淨係話佢有個長冇長？基本上係做唔到嘅呢樣嘢，係咪啊？咁但係咧，即係人哋做咗好多之後咧，有個 systematic review 就睇到咁樣啦。而 ASHA，the FAQ on trachea and swallowing, it says that aspiration in this population is more likely due to the medical status of the individual, okay, than the presence of the trachea tube itself. Okay, and I think this is in line of what we believe. It's not about the tube. Okay, obviously when a patient can take out the tube, doesn't need the tube anymore, it might help with swallowing because the patient is actually getting better. Okay, but the tube itself is not a single factor that would affect swallowing. Okay, so when we do assessment, as compared to your bedside, the ones in your nightmares right now, any similarities and differences when we carry out bedside assessment for or clinical swallowing evaluation for this population, similarities 嗱我都有見過啲即係同事啦或者係啦，即係同學就嗰陣時我都唔係好帶佢哋睇 trachea 嘅，但係啲同事我都有見過嘅。總之咧唔知點解即係做平時啲 case 咧就正正常常嘅喎，突然之間個 patient 多咗個 trachea 咧就好似即係亂晒咁樣，本來做開嗰啲嘢又唔做啊，突然之間一嚟就想人哋 deflate 個 cuff 啊咁樣，咁人我就佢做翻嗰啲 general examination 啊，咁睇翻 oral motor 啊 cranial nerves 啊 ，you still do these things, right? The patient being with a tracheostomy tube, you can still test for alertness. You can still assess for basic communication. Okay, being with a tracheostomy tube doesn't necessarily mean that the patient is not going to be able to follow commands, right? Okay, so you still do these things. You even go for the dry swallow. Okay, still ask the patient to dry swallow. Note for the laryngeal excursion. Okay, the elevation. Note for signs of aspiration as you do your routine clinical swallowing evaluation. Okay, don't skip this step. Do you do coughing? You do volitional coughing when you do clinical eval, right? How about for this population? Are you going to do coughing? Are you going to ask the patient to cough? Probably not, because if you ask the patient to cough, the patient it's very likely going to give you a weak cough because air is leaking out. Okay, that would be a differences. The differences is first of all you have to prepare the trachea for assessment. What I mean by that is you have to know whether the cuff is inflated or not. You have to deflate the cuff, etc. I'm going to go over that later on. You test for voice quality in a way you don't do it the same way as a clinical eval. Clinical evaluation, patient without a track. How do you test for